Good evening and welcome to Be the Media Huntington. Tonight is Wednesday, February 13th, 2019, Valentine's Eve, and I am Jenny Lee. And tonight I have with me Miss Lisa.
Hi, everyone.
And Miss Dana, as you can see, is not with us, but she is hoping she will be soon. She's stuck in Long Island traffic because we have Long Island traffic because Long Island is overpopulated and we have a lot of traffic.
And overpopulation brings too many cars on the road. Oh
There's a
goodness.
45-minute commute in Huntington now. Have you been on 25A recently?
Yes, I have.
It's a mess. When I try to go there to get my daughter from over at Finley, I'm always like, oh, okay, it's 10, 15 minutes. No, it takes me a good 30, 35 minutes to get to her.
We should do another. Remember when we did me, you, and Dana? We just took a ride around town when we did the pothole policing and seeing how long was taking us to get from point A to point B to C, and just how congested it was. Just normal time.
Lisa, that's a good point, and we should bring that video up from the archive because that was the day that we went down to the Valencia Tavern because the Valencia Tavern was going to be going out of business because they were going to be building the high-density housing down there. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Whatever. I haven't been down that way.
I don't know. Valencia Tavern's still there. And that had to be over a year ago. I'm going to have to go peruse through the library again and see where I can find that episode and pull it off the shelves for everyone.
And that was the day, just to backtrack, that was also the day that we made it all the way to Centerport and we spotted the Eagle's Nest and all of those photographers. And remember, we pulled into the parking lot and they were all like bombarding us going, don't you tell anyone, don't you tell anyone, don't you tell anyone. We all swore that we would never tell anyone to hurt the Eagles or put them in harm's way. And we get home, I think by the time we all got in the house,
there was an article on the Patch.
Next day, or Patch, I think it was Patch that let the Eagles out of the bag. And put their location and everything. And we were like, oh, sun's up. Yeah, I remember that.
It's interesting that a lot of the topics that we decided that were pertinent to most everyone's interests in the town of Huntington really do revolve around Mill Pond in some way, shape, or form. I had driven by there today. I decided to have lunch over at Mill Pond. I had the seafood, Fra Diablo, over spaghetti squash. It is so diet friendly and so delicious because instead of the pasta, you have it over the spaghetti squash.
That's
literally protein and a veggie. There's no carbs. So good. But next door to it, 2 doors over, the old thatch cottage is currently under construction. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding that because of the Eagles of Centerport, which I also noticed when I was there, the photographers are back. And you can see the Eagles back in the nest, and they typically do come back to meet again. So I think we're going to get another batch of babies.
Oh, yeah.
Of this.
Those Eagles have been very busy, if you know what I mean.
Very busy, but that's good. And hopefully we still don't know what gender, maybe they don't know yet, the Eagles were that were born that took off, and whether they're hopefully going to be finding a new home also here close by and making this, the Eagle capital. It would be wonderful considering a lot of American history dates back to here. When you think about it, the British spy trails, the landing over at Nathan Hale's Rock, and there's just, we did our cemetery show and we showed you, it was you and I, we did that wonderful tour with Erica and showed how close we were with the Civil War and knitted into that type of the fabric of the founding of our nation.
Mm-hmm.
But to back it up, where should we start with that whole jambalaya of things we just brought up to talk about?
I just want to make a quick comment.
Sure.
Nice weather is coming. We're also going to be getting a couple of more Eagles with the rate that those parents are, busy. So we will be getting some more, some new eaglets. But with that being said, and the nice weather coming, keep your small dogs and your cats close by.
Oh, and your chickens. I know there's a lot of people who have chickens now. And one of the guys who's really been leading the whole Eagle thing. He started the whole Eagles of Centerport page. Rob Schwartz.
Robert Schwartz,
Who
yes.
also is a chicken keeper, and he was one of the first ones out there saying, watch out, keep up, when it was in its infancy stage last year when we first started to cover it.
Yeah, because I mean, how many eels could possibly be left in Mill Pond unless some human is physically supplying the pond? I can't believe how many eels are in there.
Well, it's interesting because when I went there today, all the water was gone. And I've noticed that seems to be when it hits low tide, what I noticed first when I drove up to Centerport from the rear over by the church was all the seagulls. And I'm like, oh, they're really feeding on something's going on over there because there's so many of them, all the little seagulls everywhere. And as I got closer by the church, the little bridge there with the egret, you could see that the water was gone, which is perfect for them because it brings the water in and it brings the food in as it goes down. It leaves a great feeding spot for them to get into the clams or little fish or whatever it is that they can catch. So I think that that's really constantly being recharged, like a recharge basin, going up and down and up and down and up and down.
Now, when you were there, did you notice the soft boom that was in the article that was published?
Well, I mean, you can see it when you can see it when you go, and when it's at its low point, it's pretty much almost empty. There's parts where the birds are just walking on what they're saying is the bloom.
Now,
I don't think there's a lot of pollution. I think they're really being overly cautious because I have to look at it this way. There was already development there. It was the thatch cottage, and everyone was complaining about how badly the thatch cottage looked. And it did. It looked bad. Remember the tarps?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tarps were awful.
Horrible.
And it was an eyesore, and everybody was complaining about it back then when it was an eyesore. So now somebody decided to develop it and bring it back, even though now there's going to be the other building that still needs to be renovated, nestled between two viable businesses. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with that one other restaurant that's there. The Jellyfish?
Jellyfish, yeah.
Yes. So that the Jellyfish is squashed in between the Mill Pond and the water's edge. So, but it's just, they're just renovating it, but they're definitely being extra cautious. I don't blame them. Everyone loves the Eagles. It's bringing a lot of visitors there. I even told the people at the Mill Pond, you guys should run like an Eagles Nest special here and have the special seating where you have on the edge just to watch in the beginning of the spring and, sell a special just to play on what you have here. But they didn't take my idea, obviously, because I ended up with Fra Diablo. So
well, I'm glad they're being overly cautious. I mean, Eagles,
I am too.
Crap in our water. We really do. So I'm glad they're taking the extra precautions.
If anything, it's definitely put the town is now there, doing a second look, completely making sure everything's on not on the down low. So I'm fine with what they're doing, but it's not like it's high density housing and you have to stop this development because it's going to pollute it, it's going to this or anything else. You're going to have a little bit more traffic, but it's going to make the area more viable instead of having this completely worn down thing. There was such a bad history. I hope something good comes of this. Yep. We knew that. There was such a bad with the thatch cottage and all the history that was there.
Oh, yeah.
With Ralph Calamucci, and I don't know, did he ever get sentenced? I think the last we covered on Ralph Calamucci, the previous owner of the thatch cottage, was that he had been picked up because he had the illegal aliens living in a place and he had been using them for labor. So he had gotten sentenced for that.
Yep.
Crazy.
I have Ralph Calamucci does not have a very good reputation. So
we live in very crazy times.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that we have an election coming up this year. Everybody's very focused on 2020. I think they're really ignoring 2019.
Yeah.
We have a very important race coming up for our county executive.
County executive. Rob Trotta.
Well, can you believe my dog's barking to go out right now? Oh,
I didn't hear.
I'm going to text somebody to come let her out. Forgive me. Dina, where are you? We need a third person for a second. Wait, bounce, bounce, bounce. Oh, goodness. So we have John M. Kennedy is going to be primarying Rob Trotta for the county executive position. I'm anticipating that Steve Bellone will be running again as a Democrat.
Mm-hmm. Now, didn't I hear, I think I heard today that Lawrence Zacharias, who was running for sheriff, is also, or
Larry
wants to be in the race.
Well, that would be a third Republican.
Yes.
And you know what? Haven't we learned our lesson yet? This is no different than the presidential, when was it? The presidential campaign when, I think it was in 2008, when Barack Obama ran against Mitt Romney. Was that long ago? Or was it after that? 12. It was 12. And what the Republicans did wrong was they ran and the Democrats are making the same mistake this year on the national platform. They ran all these Republicans on their platform and they attacked each other.
Mm-hmm.
So when Barack ran against whoever was left, which ended up being Mitt Romney, he already had all his opposition research and ammunition to use against him. And they kind of drained all the funds that they had raised for their campaign funds by fighting each other. This whole wall of people that appeared to run. Yeah. And what we really need to do is just get together with each other in a room, play rock, paper, scissors. And then both of you back one of the other guy. Because we've already been down this road. You already know that Bellone is an incumbent. You know that you need to join forces to figure this out. We know where the problem is. You need to micro-focus, and we cannot have a three-way primary for a county executive race. It's going to screw every single one of you. You need to go in a room until the red smoke appears out of the chimney. That's it.
Right. Who do you think would be the best candidate?
Well, it's weird, right? So Zacharias doesn't have as good as a name. He's kind of new to politics, right?
Yeah.
He performed well when he ran for sheriff. That was in politics in New York. That's what they would consider like a starter seat. Let's see how well you do here. And he did kind of well for the Republican Party, but you're running against a very strong, very well-funded, very embedded tick.
Mm-hmm.
A bologna sandwich. John Kennedy, he's got the name, he's got the power, he's got the financial backing, but he's an old white guy. Rob Trotta is the spoiler. This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
He's outspoken. He has balls. He's not going to back down. He's exactly what we need, because we need a punch like we're seeing Trump do. I hate to say it, but that's exactly what we need. Yeah. He's the least of I consider John Kennedy a politician. He's a deep state. He is
a seasoned.
He's a lifer, career, lifelong. He's a politician. We don't need politicians anymore. Zacharias is being groomed to be one. So he's an incoming one. Rob Trotta is a politician, but what I get from him is he's the rebel one. He got in to play the game, but he's still ready to kick people in their balls and give them a sucker left punch. That's just what I get from him. He doesn't want to
talk about balls like Trump. He has them and he's not afraid to use them.
Right. Right. Because you get people, it's like the political correctness in politics is what make people malleable to just doing what the political parties want you to do, and not what the people who elected you to do. So they fall for that. The thing with Trump is he's not beholden to a party. Even the Republicans didn't like him when he got in, and he's always been for the people. I know there's a lot of people that haven't seen that yet. They're going to come around soon, because it's really starting to come out about the Mueller investigation being a complete farce, which I've been saying for the last 2 years.
To just be a new party, the Trump party.
No,
period.
they were Trumplicans. They were Trumplicans. Oh my God. Speaking of national stuff, Cuomo. Oh, I got articles for this one.
Ugh.
Can I do the show me's? Because I
Yeah,
dug a little deep on this one. This one was fun. Let me get over here.
I need an antidepressant. Let's go.
Oh no, it's not that bad. Here, let me find it though. Huntington,
What's
that's
this though? He
oh,
is.
you know what? Let's go back. I want to go to the show me. So I'm going to show you a couple things that I had here saved for everybody because we can't really do the volume thing. It just doesn't work out. But this is the where we were talking about the water's edge before.
Okay.
Do you see over here the building? The thatch cottage is gone. I noticed this when I went by today. This is just the standing of the frame now.
Wow. Well, I was down there a couple of weeks ago. My mom and I were driving. I was showing her. I was giving her a tour because she hadn't been down that way in quite some time, and we saw the starting of collapsing of it. It was pretty
It
horrible.
was collapsing. Look at this. I want you to see the inside. Hold on. How do I get? Oh, right there. Look at behind here. All this. Oh, it went to complete This place was gorgeous at one time.
Sure was.
Really was. Okay. Oh, here we go. So last week, Cuomo was blaming Trump and the SALT tax for people leaving. Remember?
Yep, I remember.
Had a $2.4 billion shortfall in our budget for New York. That's Finley again. So now he's blaming Florida. He's blaming Florida. This week, the governor of New York blamed budget shortfalls on the state of Florida. This is coming out of Miami. I forget which publication, CBS Local in Miami. He said New Yorkers are fleeing to the Sunshine State to save big time on taxes. Somehow saving money is the state's fault, and he still hasn't realized that maybe he should do something about the taxes in New York. It also goes back to the tax reform passed by Congress. The changes increased the incentive to move to the Sunshine State quite dramatically. On Sunny Isles Beach, developer, blah, blah, blah. Now, I do know that the two most migrated states right now out of are California and New York. And the two states migrated into the most are Texas and Florida. Both states have no state income taxes. That's a huge draw for them. That's a big trend that we're seeing right now as far as migration goes.
Wow. And the Carolinas too, right?
No, I don't think so much in the Carolinas. That will I'm just going by the top two because I knew those figures. I know that there are a lot of people going to the Carolinas, but believe it or not, Utah was one of the states that was topping, and Wisconsin. Utah and Wisconsin. I don't know what's such a draw there, but those were the other two states. And Wisconsin. Utah and Wisconsin. I don't know what's such a draw there, but those were. That happens every so often. We get in a pickle and click the wrong tab. Suffolk County banned plastic bags not so long ago, and now they want to ban styrofoam containers.
Well, we didn't ban plastic bags. We charged for them. Are we banning them?
They're looking to ban, I'm trying to find the article, banning the styrofoam. I think I put it on our page. The styrofoam containers.
Yeah, yeah.
Any of them.
Well, listen, I have something to say about that. Not that it matters, but I have a comment about it. I do work in a restaurant, and we have a huge portion is to go. And when you work in to go, the amount of plastic, if anyone cared the way I do, and you notice how much plastic you are wasting minute to minute, it is so sick. It is so crazy how much styrofoam, how much plastic, it's so crazy how many straws you are really just giving out. Like, like it's nobody's business. It's really crazy. It's astronomical, the amount of it. And where is that all going? It's overflowing the garbage. It's God knows the landfills going in our water.
Can you see this on my screen? I can't even find my screen right
I
now.
can't see the styrofoam.
That's okay, good. Straws by request, ban on styrofoam, like polystyrene containers, plates, and cups.
I would be happy with it. I would not even complain. I really don't care. And if it forced these restaurants who have huge to go and delivery businesses, you know, they're might cost you a few cents more, but I know there's better alternatives, like cardboard. They have cardboard containers.
You know what they need to ban? When you go to Taco Bell, and I swear it's only Taco Bell, they give you enough sauce to go home and make your own fresh salsa and with tomatoes and stuff. I could make it for a party.
But yeah, I mean, you've ordered takeaway before, right?
Um, with of course, and there's yes, I've ordered. Don't we all from time
Yeah,
to time?
but I mean, think about the plastic.
So
And now,
much,
you
and
know,
think about how much doesn't even gets used that gets thrown in the garbage when they
right.
get back.
And now when you do takeaway, in the restaurant I work in, you get a piece of plastic container for your pickles. You get a plastic container for your egg. You get a plastic container for your lettuce, because nothing goes on a burger. They put it all on the side. They put it all separate. Your dressing is on the side. Your this is on the side. Your that. Holy crap. If you look at the amount of plastic for one simple order, if you're ordering a vegetable, a potato, a vegetable, a salad, and a burger, say, it yeah, we should talk about it on another show. I'll bring home
You should bring
a,
home
bring
an
home
after.
from work a
Oh,
typical takeaway order, and I'll take it out and I will show everyone how much plastic for one small order.
that's unfair though, because then you get the snacks. I want a snack. We're gonna make everybody hungry.
Oh, well, right now we've got for the Valentine's special, I'm working all day tomorrow. It really stinks. I'm working all day. I'm working a double. We've got this strawberry mousse cake in between two brownies with whipped cream and chocolate shavings and chocolate sauce. Oh my God.
That's disgusting.
It is disgusting because it's
Yeah.
so damn good. You could eat the
This
whole
is why
thing.
our country is obese. There was strawberry shortcake between. Have you seen those new ice creams that I'm guilty. I've gone there. I brought my kids. Like the ice creams are bigger than our faces.
Yeah, you posted pictures of
Lollipop.
that is, oh
Sick.
my God. That's a half-gallon ice cream.
Yes. And I gotta tell you, I've seen the guy who delivers the ice cream. I think he's there like 3, 4 times a day. he's got a, he's got these big containers of ice cream that he's bringing into they're a really good shop though. We should go there.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so evil. We should go.
Yeah.
The average human being. Um,
I'll let you know when my cheat day is.
oh, you know what came up this week that we were talking about? The lights. Have you noticed that the lights on headlights on people's cars it's gotten brighter?
I have noticed it, and sometimes I'll flick my brights and they'll give me the brights back, and I'm like,
I
oh,
bet they don't,
look at your brights. Oh my God.
there was this poor one woman on the thread where we were discussing it. She goes, people keep flashing their lights at me. I wonder if that's why they're doing it because I don't even realize how bright my lights are. But when they're behind me and it's in my rear mirror,
Yeah.
that's blinding.
Yeah.
But also when they're coming at you, I wonder how many accidents have been caused just by that.
Actually, when I was driving home from work the other day, I was on what's it, Half Hollow Hills Road, and there was a car. It was raining, and I have glasses, so sometimes the glare it really bothers me. you know, and I have to drive slower and I have to like concentrate on the lines because sometimes I lose them in the glare, the
Right.
light and the rain. Um, but there was a car coming down the road. It was a Lexus, and the headlights were so bright. And like I said, I was almost losing the light, my lane, the lines. So I really had to slow down, back off. And like I said, I just flicked the brights at this guy, like, come on, dude, turn your brights off. And I guess they wanted to disprove to me that these are not my brights. And he put his brights on, and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even stand it. Yeah. So hence he did not have his brights on. His lights were just that out of control. So, but yeah, I did notice that. I like that post, but I didn't want to whine on it.
Yeah. I tried to make it a little lighter over there on Parents of Huntington, but no matter what, it seems like they're going to fight over anything. So, but at least this time the fight was over protecting one of our favorite people in the town. So I'll take that.
Yes. Speaking of that kind of topic, didn't Huntington Matters Facebook page have their hangout yesterday at the Ford place? You didn't go? How come?
Because they're not relevant to me. Because they're irrelevant. Because we've told everyone that they're a fraud, and if they haven't figured this out, then they're sheep, and nothing's going to save them. I cannot save all the sheep from running off the cliff. I've given you the information. If you choose not to take it, then fine. The next time they get involved in government, I already have the information. All I have to do is copy paste. It's pretty easy. I've kept a very good documented library of, all I have to do is put up a video at this point. Say, here, watch episode this, and this to get updated, and boom, I got you. We've already proved that you committed fraud. So they're irrelevant. I forgot they had a meeting because I don't care.
It wasn't a meeting. It was a hangout.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to go there with a bullhorn, but why waste my energy when I'm doing so many other good things, doing other things?
I hear you.
I
know.
All right, so for some reason, it's not toggling back and forth, but we'll figure that out. Okay, so Heartland.
You want to talk about the local elections, since we were talking about elections and the county executive?
No, we weren't sure. We weren't sure. We heard some rumors about who was running and stuff, so we weren't sure. So we're going to come back with that because we're still so early in the season.
Okay.
We are really early in the season. But I want to cover Heartland and Classic Galleries.
Okay, yeah, those are important.
Yeah. So what happened with Heartland this week?
Well, I heard the developer is put his diaper on and he's having a terrible fit, and he wants to sue Suffolk County because he didn't get his way. For a sum of what, $15 million? Did I read that right?
Yeah, hold on, I got it. Ooh, thank you. That's helpful. He looks so tough in this Newsday article. This is from Newsday. I believe it's from today.
Yeah.
Nope, yesterday. Updated though. Heartland Town Square developer sues Suffolk County for $15 million because he couldn't hook up his sewers for his 9,000 unit project.
Oh, the numbers were crazy, right?
And it failed 3-4. That was a close vote when you think about it. The developer of the proposed Heartland Town Square in Brentwood has filed a $15 million lawsuit seeking to force Suffolk County to connect the massive 9,000 unit project to the Southwest Sewer District. The lawsuit, filed February 6th in State Supreme Court in Riverhead, comes after the county legislature's Public Works Committee failed in a 3-4 vote in September. That happened a while ago. We should have known about that. To discharge without recommendation a bill to permit the hookup of the mega project. Developer Jerry Wolkoff's lawsuit argues the committee action was illegal and improper and in excess of the committee's jurisdiction and authority. This is so arrogant.
Wow.
So arrogant.
Oof.
And they do. That's what they do. They'll sue them into compliance.
Yeah.
This isn't like, you know, the way that these were supposed to be used. It's not. It's not.
No, not at all.
They use the courtrooms to force them when it's not public land. It's not public land. He's profiting off of it. It's not like the wall and they're taking land by eminent domain and giving it at, or it's no different than a highway. We all use it and nobody's benefiting from it. If anything, we're, you know, saving money in other areas, but not with this project, not with Heartland. It's going to do nothing but cost us. You know, Dana's still not here. She's still stuck in traffic and Heartland hasn't been built yet. Some people, 9,999 units. It's the equivalent of 5 Empire State Buildings.
But wasn't it, so weren't the numbers like astronomical, like 100,000 square feet of retail, and
yeah,
then
and
100 and some square foot of apartments.
Yeah, and meanwhile, retail isn't doing so good right now.
No, not at all. Just think about that traffic think about the traffic now on the Sagticos, on the Sunken Meadow during rush hour. It is bad right there where they want to build that. The traffic is so bad right there during rush hour. And you build that thing and it'll take you 3 hours to that's just stupid. Oh, who thinks of this crap?
Well, you know, I hate to say it, but this was all due to regional planning. And a lot of people, it was about 10 years ago when we used to say Agenda 20, and we would whisper it. We would whisper it because if you didn't whisper it, you were a big conspiracy theorist that they wanted to move into the suburbs and build high density housing and be able to control where people lived, worked, and played and make certain areas off limits. This is Agenda 21. It's regional planning telling areas how they should develop. And that's why you're seeing all of the same types of development. And pretty soon they're going to start taking over travel. I mean, Balone had his plan out that has not panned out yet for the Connect Long Island plan, where, because Long Island is long. That's why we're Long Island. We're actually this way. And Long Island has this way. We have the LIE that runs this way, and then we have the Northern Parkway and the Southern Parkway. And then we have the Meadowbrook, right? And then we have the 135 that kind of separate them this way. And then we have the train. Well, they want to high rail that train starting in Huntington, which is why the Avalon Bay project was such a big deal. They're going to high rail it because that's where it stops here, to get it more out east, because they need to get the products out of the bottleneck, which is when you come to Queens, it goes into a bottleneck, it gets thinner, and then goes, and there's only two, 3 ways out. And in some cases, there's only 2 ways, and they're all congested all the time. So Steve Balone had this big master plan of Connect Long Island and Metro Rails and buses and all sorts of stuff to cover, not just this way now, but this way. So he wanted to connect and use the trains and then high-speed rail, some stuff, and that never came to fruition. The only thing that came to fruition under Steve Balone was robbing from Peter to pay Paul, pretty much. They stole from over the last few years. The only thing I can think of that was commendable, besides all the corruption, that he got up on the stairs and was speaking about how, oh, this one, and him and the DA that went to jail were fighting over who was more wrong, who was more corrupt. The only other thing I've seen is that they stole, sorry, that was the wrong word to use, borrowed money out of the sewer fund to pay the PBA, their pensions that or their increase in something else. It had to do with the unions, the PBA especially. They're one of our biggest unions here online. That and the Suffolk County. So the PBA endorses anyone who's on Suffolk County legislator, and they vote on the contracts for them to get paid more money. It's a big circle jerk. It's probably one of the most corrupt things that we have. We have the best cops though. Our cops are great. You know, the rank and file police officers for the Suffolk County Police Department are, we have really great police, but the unions and the police know it. I mean, they know, and it's all saturated in there with Suffolk County. And no one election, Lisa, is going to resolve all our problems between development, between our environmental issues, between the corruption issues. It's going to take one hell of a person to come into not just Suffolk County, but the state of New York and start really, really holding some people. We need to start seeing some people go to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. That really would be. Lock her up, lock him up. Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, one of them's already still in jail, right? Burke. Isn't he coming?
I don't know if I think he was getting out on an early release. There's so many that are in jail, but also there were 2 trials that were retried. Preet Bharara, who was fired by the Trump administration when he first came in from the Southern District of New York Attorney General's office on a federal level. There's been an appointed office as of now. And I forget that guy's name. Forgive me, I forgot something. But Preet Bharara was handling the Sheldon Silver case, as well as the Dean Skelos. And who was it? Dean Skelos, I think, was the son. It was, I'm forgetting the guy's name right now, but it was Skelos and Baby Skelos. I remember that because it was him and his son that both got married. And so it was, here's Cuomo, and you have the right-hand guy and the left-hand guy. These 2 guys went to jail, leaving us with this guy who just gave us full-term abortion. So these 2 guys, they got out. They got off on technicalities, but they have now been retried. And also the Mangano trial is currently going on. So there's a lot of things in court right now. And it's so intense. I think we are just so close on the verge of seeing a lot of things start to pop legally that didn't before. A lot. I mean, there's so much going on in New York right now legally as far as court cases that are so pertinent to the conversation on a national level, including the NXIVM case, the sex cult. Do you know about that one? That one starts March 19th, the trial starts.
No. I don't know anything about that.
You don't know anything about this?
No.
Where? God. Oh, so building the wall isn't just about illegal immigrants. The crisis is not even about that. It's about drugs. It's about human trafficking. And it's a subject that a lot of people really don't want to talk about, human trafficking. So there was a sex cult, and it's been going on for a really long time. The head kingpin, his name is Keith Raniere. You might want to Google him. So he was being completely funded by the Seagrams. Do you know the Seagrams candidate?
Oh, the water?
Yes, the Seagrams heiresses. There's a whole, their family, their whole beverage, whatever, they're billionaires.
Oh my God.
Claire Bronfman, her daughters joined this cult with Keith Raniere. And Allison Mack from Smallville, she was an actress. She was one of the first ones that was arrested over this. You ever been following this?
No.
Holy smokes.
No, I'm writing this down. No.
Oh my God. NXIVM. It goes on trial in the Southern District of New York. Last I heard was March 19th. They had a court appearance on February 7th.
My God.
And what's interesting is the day after there was a raid in California, this FBI raid, and they reportedly arrested that there's this, it's so deep. Okay, so because human trafficking is so deep, and all I keep saying to myself every time I hear about it or I'm reading it, like, who are the consumers?
Yeah.
Because even for there's who are the consumers that are consuming human beings?
Yeah, that's a great question. Oh my God.
They live amongst us.
Oh, that is scary. I just can't believe how many crazies really live among us.
That goes so
Well,
deep. And I think as we get closer to the trial, I'll start adding that as one of our items of discussion.
okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. It's pertinent to Huntington. If you read the patch a few weeks ago, there was a young girl who was being held in captivity in
Oh,
Green.
yes,
You remember that, right? I mean,
yes.
that's part of human trafficking, people. That really is.
I, I don't even know what to say.
All right, we have one more thing to cover, and then we're probably going to close early because my toggle button is broken. It's not working at all. It's getting stuck or it's fluctuating. So, and Dana is still stuck on the LIE.
In traffic. Where was she coming from? The city?
Queens. I don't, and that's usually where she goes with her dad, because. But I wonder how many glaring lights that she's seen on the highway. All right, so we wanted to segue over to Classic Galleries. We wanted to make sure that we covered that before we left tonight. Classic Galleries, the ZBA has been announced now for April 11th at Huntington High School. We do not have a time. There was over 1,000 people, they said, that showed up at the town board meeting. So they had to wait to find a place to accommodate the amount of people who wanted to be heard on the subject. So that's going to be April 11th at Huntington High School for Classic Galleries for the ZBA. I hope they're able to broadcast it. If not, we'll see if we can get down there and see if we can. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I made a note of it. We'll definitely go. What day of the week is that? Do you know? Or I'll look it up. No big deal.
April 11th. I
don't have a calendar in front of me.
It's a Thursday.
Okay.
Oh, I already have it on my phone. Yay!
Good.
Go me, I got something right today.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be important for us to catch up on.
Oh, it's so important. 84 apartments, and just the landscape's changing so much all at the same time.
Yeah, it sure is. Speaking of that, I mean, speaking of the meetings, I wonder, it's 10 o'clock. I wonder if the town hall meeting is still going on. Because at 8:30, I know Susan Berland and her friends were still speaking.
They were speaking so long. It was about renaming. I clicked on there. I was watching it before we came to kind of get updated, but you also, right?
Yep. And I heard Susan Berland's voice.
I heard her voice and I said, oh my, wait. Joan Circle's starting to sound like Susan Berland. And then I saw it was Susan Berland and I turned it off. I couldn't listen anymore.
I can't listen to her name.
I'll go back after it's done. I'll go back after it's done so I can fast forward through some of that.
At 8:30, she stopped talking. I remember that.
And she was like the tour guide. She had to get up there and let everybody know this is who's speaking next, this is who's speaking next.
Oh, that was bizarre. We have a supervisor for that. Thank you. You should have just gave him your list. We didn't need to hear you 13 times.
Yeah.
Announce your friend. Ridiculous.
She was at home, so.
Certainly had enough of her. So yeah, I just had to click it off. I didn't want to hear her anymore.
Same. So we've decided that we will not be with you anymore. No, I'm just kidding. No, just next week. So
you even had me worried. Like,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Spoiler alert. No, due to the holiday. A lot of people are going to be away. The kids are going to be off school. I'm going to be insane. Everybody's going to be insane. Actually, most of us are just going to be intoxicated because our kids are home all week. I don't know how these teachers do it. If you're a teacher and you're watching right now, we love teachers. You guys are awesome so much. I don't know how they deal with that many at once.
I don't either.
And
Let them come and deal with their own.
I know there's a special place in heaven for them. But well, we hope everyone enjoyed tonight's Huntington View, and we will see you in 2 weeks. 2
Night,
weeks.
guys.
Good night, everybody.